for glass. And I can look out the window and know that it's an entirely different environment just inches away from where I'm at. And you'll want to be inside again on a night like tonight as we dip back down to 10 degrees below zero and have the wind chills drop down to about 25 degrees below zero. We've enjoyed sunshine here in Chicago. Meanwhile, the other side of the pond, there's been some cloud cover and there's been some lake effect snow, even down towards Cherville. Lake effect snow now, Berrien County, and then back up the other side. We'll have more snowfall coming up over the weekend. Not a major snow event. The cold really, I think, nudges out the snow headlines for the weekend, but we will have some that you will be able to shovel. And the further south and southeast you go, away from the city, the heavier and the more snow you'll have to shovel. But right now, it's all about the temperatures. -7 at O'Hare, -5 degrees at Midway, and a pair of -9s from DeKalb back up to around Rockford. Factor in the winds, which are gusting at times. Not real high, but high enough at 10 or 12 miles per hour to put those wind chills back down to about 25 below zero. It's 27 degrees below zero right now at O'Hare, and we're seeing 25 to 28 degree below zero wind chill factors. Pretty common across the area. There is a cold weather advisory overnight tonight through the early morning hours until 9 o'clock. And just north of that, extreme cold weather continues up to our north. Extreme cold weather warnings and advisories posted across the region. And then winter storm alerts. You can see that for the lake effect snow belt here on the other side of the lake. We have some snowfall, as I mentioned, coming our way. We'll detail that coming up in just a moment.
All right, it's just a 1-2 punch here, and a tragic reminder of just how dangerous this extreme cold can be.
This is awful. A woman died in her home in Evergreen Park. Cold exposure killed her. Leslie Moreno went to find out more.
Hey, good evening. Yeah, this is exactly why we always tell people to check on their neighbors, their elderly neighbors especially, who may not have someone to check on them regularly. Officials say 81-year-old Mary Savisky was found dead inside her home in the 9600 block of South Francisco Avenue in Evergreen Park on Monday. The Cook County medical examiner ruled her death accidental, caused by cold exposure with heart disease also cited as a contributing factor. That's the 10th cold-related death in Cook County so far this winter. Her death occurred during a cold weather advisory that was in effect from 3 a.m. to noon on Monday. In this weather, health officials say frostbite can occur on exposed skin in as little as 10 minutes. Doctors say seniors lose body heat much faster and may not realize how cold their home actually is. Hypothermia can also set in even indoors if temperatures are too low.
It could be that in this circumstance, even though the wind isn't blowing on their face, there isn't snow coming at them, if the temperature of the room that you're in is cold enough for a long enough period of time, especially in an individual who doesn't have enough of a reserve to kind of counteract those extremes of temperature, it could affect anybody.
City officials say Chicago's warming centers are open during this extreme cold. Residents can also call 311 to request a welfare check. In Evergreen Park, Leslie Moreno, Fox, Chicago.
All right, thanks, Leslie. And this is why warming centers are so important. They're going to be open all over the city. They're open now, some of them overnight. In Humboldt Park, the Salvation Army Freedom Center will be going 24/7 throughout the weekend. And it's important because the kind of negative temperatures and wind chills we're dealing with, as you just heard, can be deadly. Frostbite can happen in just minutes. And we talked to one of the people at the shelter who says he was treated for hypothermia just last night.
Definitely should help others in these types of instances, no question, yeah, because it's just obviously you wouldn't want to be out there and like, wind is coming against me, I feel like I'm going to die. You would want someone to help you out in that situation. Everyone would.
And we have a full list of all the warming centers open on our website, fox32chicago.com. As we said, many will stay open overnight. Be sure to check that out.
Remember those NIPSCO bills we talked about just this Tuesday? Well, more people in Northwest Indiana have been reaching out to us. Their bills have doubled, some have tripled.
Yeah, Brett Pagansky has been digging into the numbers here. He joins us in studio. Brett, this is getting the attention now of some Hoosier lawmakers.
And certainly I'm getting the messages even as we speak about NIPSCO. So certainly this issue is not going away. So earlier today, I spoke with State Representative Mike Andrade, who is introducing amendments to a bill on Monday. And this is all about giving Indiana residents relief on their utility bills. So you may remember NIPSCO told Fox Chicago that the recent high gas bills are a result of market demand, weather conditions, and what they said was maintaining and upgrading its infrastructure. Now, customers I spoke with feel NIPSCO is taking advantage of them, is more concerned about making a profit. Now, Representative Andrade wrote a letter to the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, which approves utility rates. So he is asking commissioners to not only look into NIPSCO's billing practices, but to step in to make sure people are not overpaying for utilities. Now, Andrade told me when he wrote the letter this past September, the commission ignored him. But he told me after several of our viewers wrote to them, they finally answered him, and he is now optimistic they are listening to you.
This is about our Hoosiers that we represent and the needs that they have. And enough is enough when we're seeing this high cost on utility bills going from $100 to almost $1,000. You've probably seen it, Brett, yourself. You know, people are reaching out to you as well. It's out of control. We need to do something about it to ensure that we have affordability for our Hoosiers.
So I reached out to the IURC today. Still waiting to hear back from them. There is a pending case that I looked up from the commission investigating billing discrepancies of NIPSCO, as well as how it impacts the company's revenues and rates, and if customers should be getting refunds. But I also today spoke with Terry Logan from Hamlet, Indiana, who showed me her NIPSCO gas bills from December 2024 to this past month. They went from about $107 to almost $274.
It's just getting harder and harder to pay every month. We are retired, and our bills are about $458 a month, which is more than doubled from last November and December. And we're having to dip into our savings just to try to keep our lights and our utilities on. And we keep our thermostat set at 68 degrees. So we're lower usage, but our bill is just doubling.
And this is all coming as Northwest Indiana NIPSCO customers are getting ready to hold protests outside of NIPSCO offices in both Hammond, Indiana, as well as Maryville, Indiana. Be sure to watch tonight at 9 o'clock tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, Brett, we'll keep focused on that. And the Indiana National Guard has been activated to help people in the central and southern part of the state. 110 soldiers will work with state police and the Department of Transportation to help stranded drivers. The Guard is setting up 12 highway assistance teams throughout the southwestern part of Indiana with a command and control team in Evansville. A crew with the Illinois Tollway have been out all day helping drivers in need here in this state. We spoke with someone at the Tollway on Chicago Live this afternoon who tells us there are things you can do that just take a few seconds or minutes but are crucial to staying safe.
Checking tire pressure before you leave the house. Ensuring you've got at least a half a tank of gas before you head out, and making sure cell phones are fully charged and you have a charger with you. Obviously, you know, we want to take precaution and utilize travel for, you know, what is an absolute or an essential need. So if you can avoid travel during these types of weather events.
And if you do find yourself in need, the Tollway says pull over to the shoulder if you can, turn your emergency flashers on, and call star 999.
ComEd says they are ready for whatever Mother Nature dishes out this weekend. They say they are keeping up with the weather, and they've got crews ready to go around the clock to help with any power emergencies across the area. They're also sharing lots of tips on how you can stay warm in these temperatures.
Some of the things you can do right now. Number one, consider lowering your thermostat a little bit lower than you normally do. Consider dressing in layers. I mean, you probably had like ugly sweaters that you wore during the holidays. You know, you only got to wear them once. Bring them out. This would be a good time. Also, if the sun is shining on the south side of your home, if you have south side facing windows, open those up on a day like today. It's very sunny right now. So take advantage of that heat. And then when the nighttime falls, close them and lock in that heat.
If your power goes out, text OUT to 26633 or report it on ComEd's website. Well, weather has been impacting flights across the U.S. with the biggest number of delays and cancellations expected tomorrow. As of tonight, there's been 64 cancellations at O'Hare, 10 at Midway. And when we were at O'Hare earlier today, most people we talked to said they aren't concerned about any issues with their flights. They're just excited to get the heck out of here and out of the extreme cold.
Yeah, but I think it's actually a little warmer in Toronto. It's going to be, what, minus 35 with the wind chill?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yikes. I'm out of here.
I like the cold. Oh, you like the cold? Yes. Tell me what your feelings are on just getting out just in time to miss all of this cold.
Well, I was excited because we booked it months ago, and I thought I picked the one weekend that's going to be the coldest in 7 years, so that was very lucky.
Several airlines are offering waivers for people traveling over the next few days, allowing you to make changes for free.
And we have a lot more on the cold weather, including what AAA suggests keeping in your car in this freezing cold.
Plus, from Olympian to drug kingpin, the FBI captures a top 10 fugitive they say was the head of a major narcotics operation.
And former Mayor Lori Lightfoot. She's sharing more about her ICE accountability project as enforcement efforts ramp up.
Fox 32 News is brought to you by all.
More videos are coming out of immigration arrests across the Minneapolis area as protests against the enforcement efforts continue. There was a renewed outrage when an image surfaced of a 5-year-old being taken into ICE custody. One local school superintendent says several students have been detained.
As of this week, 4 of our students have been apprehended and taken away by masked and armed ICE agents with no identifying badges. The onslaught of ICE activity in our community is inducing trauma and is taking a toll on our children.
The Trump administration and immigration officials were quick to respond. They argue the young child's father ran away when they tried to arrest him. ICE says they were taking care of the child and have reunited him with his father in custody. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot recently launched the ICE Accountability Project.
Yeah, it's a website and it's been live for 3 weeks. Tonight, she's urging people to keep engaging with it. ReportIceNow.com will help build evidence against federal agents, quote, crossing the line. Now, people can upload videos of any incidents that have happened in the city. Lightfoot says federal agents across the country should be held accountable for their misconduct.
What we're seeing happening in Minnesota will absolutely come back to Chicagoland. And we want to make sure that people have the information, have the ability to document what they're seeing, and it's in one place. And the ability to see over the course of many different incidents what ICE is doing is really quite horrifying.
Right now, the project focuses on the Chicago area, but Lightfoot says it could potentially be used in other states. And immigrant rights leaders here in Illinois are standing in solidarity with Minnesota for a day of action. Today, dozens of organizations gathered in Pilsen to protect against ICE. They're pushing for federal funds that support ICE to be cut.
The truth about this moment is that the fight against ICE and militarized occupation of our cities goes beyond any one community. That's right. It extends beyond state borders, and it connects our communities across the country. We are all affected. The work of exposing ICE's violence and organizing alongside our neighbors is unifying and a growing national movement demanding that we abolish ICE.
Now, they say they'll continue rallying to keep ICE out of cities around the country.
5 people are now in custody in connection with the shooting of a judge in Indiana and his wife. Lafayette police say 3 men and 2 women are charged. Prosecutors claim the suspects are members of a motorcycle club and a street gang. They were allegedly trying to kill Judge Steve Meyer in an attempt to derail a case against one of their own who was supposed to stand trial this week on charges of domestic abuse. The judge and his wife were shot in their home last Sunday. They are expected to be okay. A Chicago doctor charged with killing his ex-wife and her husband in Ohio has pleaded not guilty. David McKee is in a jail in Ohio right now after being extradited from Illinois. A grand jury indicted him in the deaths of Monique and Spencer TP. They were found shot to death in their home in Columbus December 30th. McKee was arrested in Rockford. A former Olympic snowboarder accused of running a drug empire is now in custody after being tracked down by the FBI.
Yeah, he's on the run for almost a year. Rebecca Castor has more on how he was caught.
From shredding powder to allegedly smuggling powder across international borders. That's what landed former Canadian Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding on the FBI's most wanted list. And now he's being brought to justice.
He is a modern-day El Chapo. He is a modern-day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice.
FBI Director Kash Patel says Wedding was captured Thursday night in Mexico City. That's where investigators believe he was hiding for over a decade while running a massive drug trafficking operation, shipping cocaine from Colombia to the U.S. and Canada. He's also accused of ordering multiple murders.
This individual and his organization and the Sinaloa cartel poured narcotics into the streets of North America and killed too many of our youth and corrupted too many of our citizens. And that ends today.
Patel says Wedding is the 6th top 10 fugitive captured by the agency since President Trump took office. Another win for his crime crackdown, as recent data shows significant drops in violent crime and drug overdoses nationwide.
That is not an accident. When you look at the administration's use of all the 3-letter agencies, ATF, DEA, HSI, FBI, and putting them into high crime areas, of course, if you throw all those resources at it, you're going to start to see it drop.
Wedding is expected to make his first court appearance in Los Angeles on Monday. He's also facing drug trafficking charges in Canada. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox Chicago.
After months of drama and a brief hours-long ban last January, TikTok has finally finalized a deal that keeps the app operating in the U.S. The deal spins off parts of its U.S. business into a new joint venture. That was the requirement for the Chinese-owned social media app to continue operating in our country. Parent company ByteDance will still handle e-commerce, advertising, and marketing. What we're feeling right now outside is a polar vortex, and for most of the country, a massive snowstorm is on the way. Texas and Oklahoma are expected to see snow and ice overnight before the system moves east over the weekend. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration for more than 100 counties. Officials say they hope upgrades made to the state's power grid will help reduce the potential for widespread outages.
The most prepared we've been and the most resilient that our grid has been.
The winter storm is expected to cover more than 2,300 miles, and as it moves north, it could drop more than a foot of snow in places.
Foot of snow Probably we're not going to get that here, but we're going to get some of it, aren't we, Mark?
We're going to get some snow, and as you mentioned, the heaviest snowfall is going to be down to our south, and a foot of snowfall in places that don't normally get much snow at all. Places like Kentucky and parts of Tennessee, back towards the Ozark, about a foot of snowfall, and a major ice event across the Mid-South as well. So we'll be on the northern fringe here. We'll see snow come right up to about the Wisconsin state line area. At the same time, we'll have some snow shooting in off the lake, some lake effect snow. Right now, we have temperatures that are well below zero. They have been for much of the day. We're going to continue with that trend as we go overnight tonight. Those numbers down to as cold as 10 below overnight tonight, and wind chills easily down to about 25 degrees below zero. That's about where we are right now. Cold air spilling not only here into Chicago, but look at this cold air making all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Bitter cold conditions, and this is that trek of that storm system that's going to bring that heavy snowfall and that ice across much of the Mid-South. And some ice forecasts have been between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Now, you see anything up towards 1/2 inch of ice across the Mid-South, that's going to snap trees and power lines and create some major havoc across much of the Deep South. Here's where the heavy snowfall is. Look at this. From southern Illinois all the way back through the Ohio Valley, right across parts of northern Kentucky. A foot of snow. The same place, they don't have a lot of snow plows. Well, stick around. I'll have your 7-day forecast, show you what we're in for. Coming up.
Sunday, the NFC Championship.
Luigi Manioni's federal trial will begin in September.
Yeah, today the judge said jury selection begins on the 8th. The rest of the trial schedule, including opening statements and testimony, is contingent on whether the judge allows prosecutors to seek the death penalty. Mangione is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson back in 2024. He has pleaded not guilty to federal and state murder charges. The state trial has not been scheduled.
A massive pipe rupture sent sewage spilling into the Potomac River in Maryland. Officials say the spill is turning part of the river gray near D.C. A nonprofit environmental group says around 60 million gallons of raw sewage per day has been discharged into the river since that pipe ruptured. Officials are warning people to stay clear of the area.
Do not swim or drink that river water. Not that you would anyway. Domesticated rats, hundreds of them, crawling all over this condemned home in New York. They were everywhere, ripping through walls, raiding cabinets, and living everywhere you can imagine. Yikes. According to court documents, the homeowner is facing charges including animal neglect and endangering the welfare of a child. Volunteers have since been massed up, moving room to room, separating males from females to stop the breeding and checking which rats are sick. More than 400. All the rats have now been caught and treated. There's still around 30 rats they still have to get to, but it's hard because they're hiding in the walls. Some were found with tumors, eye injuries from fighting, and other illnesses. Still, only about 10 have so far been euthanized. More than 200 have been adopted or are being fostered. Experts believe the rodent infestation appears to have been a case of things quickly spiraling out of the homeowner's control, not a breeding operation. Rats, after all, give birth roughly every 20 days to a litter of almost a dozen babies.
Dang. Snap. Police in New York wondered if a buck was looking for a few bucks when he smashed through a bank window. Trashed the place. Officers were able to calm the lasso the deer before guiding him back through the same window he came in. But did he get his money, though?
Let's stick with the animal thing. You've probably heard of yoga trends like goat yoga or hot yoga, but have you ever tried snake yoga?
Oh, no.
I have to say I haven't. A reptile shop in Portland, Oregon is taking the classic cobra pose to a whole new level. Classes feature corn snakes, bell pythons, and red-tailed boas, while trained snake handlers gently guide the reptiles and occasionally place them on participants. It's a unique hands-on experience for yoga lovers or snake lovers looking for something a little different.
Absolutely not. The World of Concrete is back in Vegas. The event draws industry officials and professionals from construction and enthusiasts, and they showcase all the latest and greatest in tools, techniques, and trends. It also features two main competitions: the fastest crawl on the block, which tests competitors' speed and precision, and then the Bricklayer 500, also known as the Super Bowl of Masonry, testing competitors' endurance by giving them an hour to complete their work.
The Bricklayer 500 coming up on ESPN. Now, we've been telling you about the massive winter storm hitting most of the country, but New Orleans is going to be missing the bulk of it. Still, there it is. It's going to be freezing there despite the chilly temperature. The intergalactic crew of Chewbacca's, thank you, says the parade to honor Star Wars Wookiee Chewbacca will go on. Oh, finally. So happy that's going to happen, at least for now.
Definitely planning ahead is going to be necessary, but luckily we're all nerds here, so we're ready for it. Chewbacca is all about crew love and spreading that hope and love and joy with the community. And no matter what the weather throws at us, we're still going to bring all of that energy and positivity and love to the community.
Yes. Hey, it's almost time for Mardi Gras. Intergalactic crew of Chewbacca says they will work with city officials to make any adjustments as necessary.
That outfit is popping.
Can you do the Chewbacca? What are you saying there?
Just rolling my R's with my tongue, I guess, right? That's what he sounds like, right, Mark Joe?
But translate that to English for me.
I'm over this cold. How about that? All right, people living in the northernmost city of the U.S. finally seeing sunlight for the first time in months. The sun poked his head above the horizon. The sun set in this Alaskan town about 500 miles northwest of Fairbanks. In November, it's called Polar Night. Come summer, this town has 24-hour sunlight from mid-May through early
probably warmer than
August. Is the sun a he or a she? It doesn't matter. All right, our new training center just opened on the south side.
The goal is to help people who feel stuck in low-wage jobs by giving them access to new skills and tools.
You guys have been so entertaining. This is tough to follow up. I'm Tina Nguyen. Coming up later in sports, Derrick Rose gets a special moment before having his jersey retired. The White Sox bringing a new closer, and we close out the Bears season with the best quotes of the week.
You win a bunch of games, you get into these games, playoff games, and you're winning, and you play these good teams, and you see what championship level is. You see what you need to do to be at the position that you want to be at the end of the year.
This weekend only, shop Ashley.
Now at the bottom of the hour, there's a new training center in Chatham connecting Southsiders to jobs.
But we got to talk about the cold. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So let's check back in with meteorologist Mark Estrell. How low can we go?
How low can we go? Well, tonight it is 10 below. Along with a wind chill, it'll go down to 25 degrees below zero. But after tonight, those numbers pop back up above zero, which is something. Tomorrow, we make it all the way up to 10 degrees, which, believe it or not, sharply warmer than today. 19 on Sunday. We are below average really all week long. But again, at least the daytime highs are above zero. In the teens, finally by a week from today, those temperatures up into the 20s. That will be the next time we warm above the teens for daytime highs. And beyond that, the trend looking like we could make it back up close to normal by the end of the 10-day forecast. Now, this is a look at futurecast. We've got much more wintry weather coming our direction. Not only do we have some lake effect snow coming down across parts of northwest Indiana and southwestern Michigan, but we have snow bubbling up from that storm system that is just down to our south, and it'll spread snowfall, especially tomorrow night and into Sunday, and merge with a little bit of lake effect snow. So we could see some lake enhancement out of this next system. I still think the heaviest snowfall totals will be south of the Kankakee River Valley, even though we all see some snowfall. So as you pointed out earlier, it's the old 1-2 punch. First comes the cold, then the snow.
We don't want you there.
At some point, the warmth? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Let's stick with the freezing temperatures. They can really take a toll on your car. But luckily, AAA is on standby, ready to help if you run into any issues. The company says the extreme cold can cause problems with locks, tires, and car batteries. You may want to keep an emergency kit in your car just in case you get stranded.
On a day like today, you want to have plenty of warm gear with you. So if you do get stranded, you have stuff to keep you warm. Also, a charged cell phone is going to be really important. We always tell people call for help, especially in this weather.
You can download the AAA app to get roadside assistance and find other safety resources. Well, there's a new networking and learning hub in Chatham, and it's designed to open doors for Southsiders.
Yeah, the Learning Lab celebrated its grand opening today. Our own Casey Cronus gives us a look at all that it has to offer.
The people behind the Collaboratory Training Institute say this space is changing the narrative and providing access without judgment.
Welcome to the Collaboratory. The real work begins now.
Designed to inspire, teach, and support community members, the Collaboratory in Chatham will serve as a stepping stone toward a future that's fully connected. The goal, to encourage residents to build their own wealth and attain outcomes bigger than they see for themselves. The Touch Gift Foundation has been supporting community members for years, but now will reach even more residents. The space, located on 79th and Champlain, features a digital learning lab, media suite, career closet, and even a food pantry. Programs range from AI training and career coaching to computer and literacy classes. For founder Kiona Owens and the project's partners, it's an investment for the South Side.
So what it means to me is change. Like, we've been serving in the community for so long, and we've served over 100,000 households with resources. So it really the way we show up for people is life-changing.
A part of our work is identifying gaps, and so helping them to bridge the gap and providing them with the professional resources that they need. We're here to help. We're here to serve. They don't have to do this alone, and so when they're ready, we're available.
To learn more about enrolling in a program or booking space and equipment here, just head to our website, fox32chicago.com. In Chatham, Casey Cronus, Fox Chicago.
Thanks, Casey. A top Indiana lawmaker wants the Bears to put some more skin in the game in the ongoing stadium saga. Indiana's Republican Speaker of the House, Todd Houston, says that state will advance a bill that would essentially own and fund a new stadium for the Bears in Northwest Indiana if the Bears commit to the Hoosier State first. The team is still seeking approval on legislation here in Illinois that would kickstart a stadium in Arlington Heights. Houston says he's supportive of the Indiana bill that would establish a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority to lure the Bears across the border, but it sounds like he wants the Bears' flirtation with the Hoosier State to turn into a commitment.
If you're missing being out on the water, you can catch fish indoors this weekend.
We'll take you to Schaumburg for Chicagoland's biggest fishing expo.
Go for it.
Fox 32 News is brought.
All right, if you're looking for a way to escape the cold this weekend.
The Fishing Expo is back in Schaumburg, so we hooked our own Jake Hamilton into giving us a preview.
That's right, guys. We are out here at the Schaumburg Convention Center. Listen, if you saw me on Good Day Chicago a little bit earlier, you saw me try and fail to catch a fish on live television here at the Chicagoland Fishing Expo. So they gave me a pole maybe more equipped for my skill and my talents. We're out here with my man Todd, the owner, the show manager. Todd, I did my best in that live hit, okay?
And I did see you catch one.
I did catch one after we went off the air. Tell people, first of all, what are we doing right now?
So this is one of our family-friendly features. It's the trout pond. And the kids can come over here and fish try to catch a fish.
Hey, I've been trying. We're going to see if I can catch it by the end of the segment. Oh, come on. Did you do it? Oh, you did have one on.
I did have one.
All right, now this is day 2 right now. It's running through Sunday. For people who've never been out here before, you see in the distance you got boats, you got fishing simulators, you have, I mean, just about everything you could want if you want to come out and maybe have a little preview of what people could be doing this summer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great place. We have a ton of seminars going on. So whether you're a young angler, an older angler, experienced, inexperienced, any age, you can come out here, you can learn to catch fish. There's plenty of opportunity to buy product, talk to the manufacturers, learn about the different types of products you might want for the type of species that you're fishing for.
All right, what do people need to know? Tickets very affordable for families if they want to come out.
It's $15 for adults. It's $5 for children 6 through 11, and then under 6 are free all the time. Sunday is family day. The first 100 kids in the show get a rod and reel combo from Daiwa.
Come on!
First 100 kids that come through the door get a rod and reel combo. And all kids 11 and under are free on Sunday.
Let me ask you, what is the website where people can grab tickets and more information?
Chicagoland.sportshows.com.
All right, guys, it is the Chicagoland Fishing Expo. Listen, my challenge to you is to come out here and do a better job than I am. So you're going to want to come out and have a great time, enjoy yourself, stay warm. And as I continue to try to catch a fish, I'm going to be out here all weekend. I'm not leaving until I catch a fish. So thank God they're going till Sunday. On that note, we're going to toss it back to you guys in the studio. This would be a good time to bite right now, guys.
I imagine he's still there.
I was just going to say, breaking news, Jake is still there.
I'll text him.
Fishing outside, not the best idea today or this weekend, unless you really love ice fishing on ponds. It's not just the cold we need to worry about.
Oh, no. Mark is keeping an eye on the potential ice and snow in his full forecast after the break.
I'm Tina Wynn. Next in sports, we put a bow on the Bears season as we've got the best sound bites from this week about where they've been and where they are going. Plus, if you can't wait for Derrick Rose's jersey retirement, neither could the Bulls. See how they gave the former league MVP a nice surprise ahead of tomorrow's ceremony. Stay with us here.
right. All right. For a reminder for anyone who was hoping to take part in this or just planning on watching the Polar Plunge tomorrow, it's canceled. Yes, the cold, it's its fault. There will still be a party tomorrow, though, where everyone can celebrate their fundraising success. See, those are the people I'm like, you're bold. You're bold if you go anyway. But, like, I'm going in a hoodie and sweatpants. I'm not going to run out there in those Speedos.
That's going to be pretty wet.
You do not want hoodie and sweatpants.
Oh, that's
Have you guys
true,
done that
those
before?
are freeze.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Yes, I did it just in swim trunks. And by the way, we have to shout out to the Great Lakes jumper who did not miss his jump this morning.
Really?
Dan, he jumped in this morning.
And it's been like thousands of days now, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
when he got in the water, it was 30 degrees. So he was like
warmer in Lake Michigan.
He didn't want to get out.
Like 40 degrees warmer than it was.
Like a hot tub.
Right.
Hot spring.
Just like a hot tub.
Just like it.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I wouldn't mind being in the hot tub right now. We do have partly cloudy skies right now. We're going over to mostly cloudy skies overnight tonight. This is a look at what we're dealing with for overnight low temperatures. Down below zero once again tonight, close to 10 degrees below zero here in the city. Teens below zero in the north and northwest suburbs up towards Crystal Lake. Forecast high temperatures tomorrow. Look at this. We get above zero, which is nice. 10 degrees here in the city. From Woodstock back to Rockford to around DeKalb, you'll be about 4 or 5 degrees tomorrow, which will also be nice. Not so nice is the continuation of the cold. The trend is the next 7 to 10 days calling for numbers that remain below number, at least below average, those numbers below average. Wind chills right now 27 degrees below zero. At the big airport, 30 degrees below zero. The wind chill now in DeKalb. I'll look at your satellite and radar. We had sunshine today. Indiana, not so much, at least parts of Indiana. Southwest Michigan, not so much either. This is Futurecast, and the lake effect snow continues overnight into the early morning hours. And then watch what happens here. As the snow comes up from the south, we'll catch a little bit of lake snowfall, kind of merging with that, so we could have some enhanced totals out of this next system coming our way. So right now, -7, winds out of the west-northwest at 13, feels like 27 degrees below zero. Satellite and radar, again, some cloud cover moving in. Temperatures right now, -7 at O'Hare, -5 at the beaches, and 29 degree below zero wind chill factor this hour at Woodstock. All right, your satellite and radar showing lake effect snow belts lighting up from downwind side, lake effect snow, and snowfall still starting to show up out over the high plains. 10 tomorrow, snowfall tomorrow night, and especially on Sunday, 19 degrees. We're sunny, and 11 on Monday. So this cold air is sticking around virtually all week long. Futurecast, there's the lake effect snow. This is the main player down across the Mid-South with snowfall and ice. Ice will be the critical player here, with forecasts calling for a 1/4 inch up to a 1/2 inch of ice in some cases. When we approach a 1/2 inch of ice, that's going to snap trees and power lines. It's going to create some major problems across parts of the Mid-South, and could touch and will touch upon the extreme southern part of southern Illinois. Here we are. This is 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Again, lake effect snow coming in here, and we are in the north side of this system, so without the lake effect snow, we'd have moderate amounts of snowfall. I think we'll see an inch or two near the Wisconsin state line, and probably 4 inches plus south of the Kankakee River Valley as we go through the weekend. Now, the lake effect snow will enhance that. A little bit of a wild card there. We're going to keep an eye on it all weekend long. -9 tonight, 10 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. Here is a look at your 7-day forecast, calling for teens all weekend long until we get to Friday next week, up to 21. We got that going for us, which is nice.
All I could think about during that was Iceman, and Iceman is the nickname for who? Caleb Williams, right? There we go. Let's talk about the Bears, because very few could have predicted the Bears would be playing football in mid-January, but now they are legitimate contenders. And with that comes a whole new set of questions. How much more progress will Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams make? Who will they bring back from the secondary? And can they make a second straight playoff run? For now, here's a wrap-up of the Bears' 2025 season in their own words.
We didn't reach what we wanted, the goals that we wanted to hit, and that's to be a championship caliber team. That'll never change. But as we've moved
a couple days past that, I am proud of the progress that we've made.
We did fall short, but like I said last night, man, it's a lot of things to be proud about with this group. We did a lot of things that people didn't think we were going to do this year. We fought to the end, and that's all I could ask for. We have ignited a belief.
I think the city of Chicago is definitely yearning for a team like this, a season like this, and I think that's something that they can come to expect.
I see this being sustainable. I've seen what it looks like, and I feel like we can win here in Chicago.
And knowing that, we can't be complacent. We got to keep pushing forward.
There is no building off of this. We go back to square one. We're back at the bottom again. If you feel otherwise, you're probably missing the big picture.
This league is different. It's a beast. You only get so many chances at it.
We got to start from scratch. We got to start from the fundamentals.
Win a bunch of games. You get into these games, playoff games, and you're winning. And you play these good teams, and you see what you have to go against. You see what championship level is. We'll figure it out. We'll come back together and find a way to go get back in the playoffs, back in the run, because that's where you ultimately want to be. Obviously, we do.
Okay, I know it's cold outside, but that certainly has me fired up. The Bears conversation continues on Chicago Sports Night Daily. Coming up tonight, Cassie Carlson, David Hogg, Herb Howard, and myself will recap the 2025 season, the questions the Bears answered, and what we're looking for in year 2 of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Then Sunday, after the NFC Championship, we'll examine the decisions the Bears face in free agency. All right, to baseball. The White Sox have reportedly found their closer agreeing to terms with Sir Anthony Dominguez on a 2-year, $20 million deal. Dominguez posted a 3 ERA with the Blue Jays after a midseason trade and allowed 1 run in 5 appearances in the World Series.
Good defense. Lead pass. Whoa! Stop it! Stop it! You're not doing like that! What are you doing, Dragons? Did you not get the memo? Derrick Rose can go upstairs. I want to go higher. Oh, my goodness.
16 years ago yesterday, an iconic call of an iconic dunk for an iconic player in Bulls history. Tomorrow night, that player, Chicago native and former MVP Derrick Rose, will have his #1 retired. This morning, the Bulls released a video of Rose getting a first look at his banner, and it turned into a special moment with his family and former teammates.
Wow, are you serious? What, bro? I'm going up there with them guys and just being a part of something that's bigger than me. Like, this is every teammate, every fan. We up there now. I felt like I competed against everybody the same way, which was extremely hard. It all played out like extremely well, where my peers, they respected the way that I played. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Cat, what up, Cat? I appreciate you coming, bro. Love, y'all. Yeah, love, man. This ain't only for me, bro. All the moments that we had, man, fighting and all that, is for everybody, bro. I wouldn't have gotten this far if I wouldn't have got the knowledge and the times that we had.
I think we're all going to need some tissues inside the United Center tomorrow. Speaking of that, we will have a report for you in the 9 o'clock news tomorrow. In other Bulls news, Trey Jones will be out for at least 2 weeks with a left hamstring strain, and Phillip Rivers is interviewing with the Bills for their head coaching job. Rivers came out of retirement and started 3 games at quarterback for the Colts this season. Back with more after this break.
Fox 32 News is
feel like we all deserve a gold star after we get through this.
We deserve like medals and honors, right?
Yeah.
You know, this shows you how tough we are around here with temperatures below zero most of the day. Tomorrow we make it above zero after hitting about 9-10 below zero tonight. Wind chills tonight about 25 degrees below zero. And look at that, we're teens the rest of the week. We should be around 31.
Okay.
Look at that 21, though.
Yeah. Woohoo.
It's beckoning.
Layers are non-negotiable. Thanks for joining us at 5.
And now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Chicago Sports Tonight is next. We will see you tonight at 9.
Boom, out of nowhere, I was hurt in a car